Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. And thanks for all your lovely comments on our two little catch-up videos last week. So I hope you've had a lovely weekend and you're raring to go. Always good on a Monday. And we're going to get that Mr. Mojo back because I believe he's still missing. He's still on holiday and a few of you want him back. And as I was saying last week with our last little catch-up, one of the best ways to get him back is to enter a little challenge. And it just happens we have a Lavinia challenge this month and the theme is blue hues. Now, last week we did a design where we did a lot of blue ink in the background, we did some blending and then we stamped on top. So what I thought I'd do this week is show you another design that will be perfect for the challenge, but this time I'm concentrating on stamping in my blues. So last week we were more looking at our background inks, our Distress Oxide inks or our Elements inks for creating that background and using that as our blue theme. Whereas today, I thought I'll look at my Blue Versafine Clair inks and we'll stamp in various shades of blue, and that's going to be my blue hues. So again, just to show you a different way, same challenge, but just a different way of looking at it. And I have to put my favourite little mini butterfly stamp in here. So I hope you're going to craft along with me. If you're going to do it, just pause me, get yourself some floral stamps, some blue inks, have a look what you've got, and come on, let's get crafting. So we're going to start with a piece of Multifarious card, and this is just 5.5 inches square. And again, just perfect for a 6x6, or if you want to do a larger, a special. A few of you have asked for designs that could be used for special cards. Now again, I think this on an 8x8 card, maybe add a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of glitter, obviously a sentiment here. You know, you could really jazz it up a little bit. Maybe another butterfly down here. But again, I think these designs, you can either take them as they are or you can add that bit extra. So we're going to start with our stamping. And what I do first, when I'm doing something like this, I look at my inks. So in my Versafine Clair, my collection, I've gone for Twilight, and that's my darkest colour. And then, oh, these are all going to be upside down, aren't they? Paradice, Bali Blue, and Arctic. And they're just the 4 that I've chosen to use. If you've got different ones, go ahead. You know, mix it up a bit. And the first stamps I'm going to use are the mushroom lanterns. Now, these are, again, an older selection of stamps. So there's the mushroom lantern single, and look at that. The detail in this is stunning. You could do a card just with this, you know. And also, heads up, I have done a design. It stamps beautifully this way. And you could put one of our lovely fairies sitting on here, or an animal, the cat. We've got the beautiful cats. They look lovely on here. But for me as well, it almost reminds me of a jellyfish here. And I think that could be used in your underwater scenes. Again, blue, underwater. Now with that, we've got the mushroom lantern set. So we've got 2 smaller ones, and the 3 work so well together. So that's what we're going to start off with. This is going to be almost the focal point of my design. And again, I haven't used these for a while, so it's a good time, have a look through your stamps and see which ones you haven't used for a while. They're probably sat there all upset thinking, oh, she doesn't love me, she's not used me. So, sorry, Eric, no, I wasn't, sorry. As you know, Eric, my Labrador, who sat under my desk, suddenly thought I was talking to him then. These things happen, don't they? So we're starting with our deeper colour, and that's our Twilight. And I've just caught the edge of my block, so I'm just going to give that a bit of a wipe. Otherwise, I'll get blue ink. And I can see I've missed a bit off the edge here. So nice light tapping. And we're just going to come in and we'll just slightly offset that and pop it there. It's always a good thing to do, you know, beginning of the year, look through your stamps. Have a look which ones you haven't used for a while. Look at that, the detail, it's just beautiful. So we'll go in for the next size. And again, I'm being mindful not to put my block on my card. When you're starting off, try and get, because we've got some lovely new friends and followers, try and get in good habits. Because the thing is, your stamp block might be clean 99 times out of 100, but one time you might have ink on there, put it on your design. And you know what? That's always going to happen when it's your favourite design. And always at the end, when you've put all that work in. Ask me how I know, because that's what happens. I know. So that's the next size. And then we'll just have a lovely grouping of the 3. So we'll come in with the smaller one now. And again, nice light tapping. I'm sticking with the darker colour. And I'm going to pop this one here. And I'm just varying the height. I just think it looks that bit more natural look to vary the height. So I'm happy with that. And I just want to add a little bit more shape. So this one I'm coming in with the Fern Heads look. Again, lovely, lovely stamp. Now I did use the single one. We have this as a single as well. And I used that last week. So check that one out because again, I think they would look nice used together. So I think we'll go for Bali Blue next. And I'm going to create, I want to start to create that sort of shape. Now, when you're creating this sort of design, don't look at it at this stage and think, oh, I don't like that. It's carry on with the design. Often, halfway through, we're almost looking at it. And I use that phrase, dog's dinner. That's probably just because I've got Eric. But obviously, I know we've got lovely friends and followers all over. So if that's not an expression that you use here in the UK, it just means it looks a bit of a mess. So often halfway through, I think, really? But then when it all comes lovely in the end, I want some of the fern head here, but I don't want to stamp over this. So what I've done is just with a cloth, I've wiped the base of the stamp and I've only inked up the top little bit, look. And then what I'll do is just stamp that up there. So you see how it gives me this shape here. And don't worry about that there, we'll fill that in. And so you've just got it, you don't want to over stamp that because that's my main focal point. And so we're just going to build up. So the next stamp I've chosen to use is the lovely Lavender. And again, this is fabulous. And I thought lavender again with blues. And for this, I'm going to come for sort of my brighter colour now, the Paradice. I'm thinking lavender needs to be that lovely brighter blue. So we'll stamp a few of these. But again, I want to sort of start to make it look more obvious that we've got like a fan shape. And again, I want a little bit at the top. So I'm just going to wipe my stamp. And then just ink up the top of the lavender. And then we'll just put one there. And you see that does two things. It keeps this shape nice, but also we fill that little gap there. But also we've got depth and perspective because the lavender is now in front of the fern head. I think we just need one there. So again, I'm just going to ink up the top. I'm going to put the lid on because I think I've finished. And I'm just going to put that one there. So can you see I've got that lovely fan shape? Right, happy with that. Now, I don't want to overcook this, but I just need one more little bit of almost fluffiness here in the field grass. So those of you that followed me for a while, you will know I adore the field grass. It's just for me the best filler in stamp. It has a smaller sister, the orchard grass. And for this, I'm coming in with my lightest colour, the Arctic. And this, I just want to sort of fill in wispy bits. And carry on with that lovely shape. So we'll stamp a few here, look. And also, if you want it to look further in the distance, look, we'll stamp a second generation. And just by inking up the top in that second generation, so you see we've got that lovely shape. And again, it's given us that depth and perspective. So that's the stamping done. So I'm just going to give that a blot. Remember, always give it a good blot. Now, just while we've got the ink out, we're going to stamp a couple of these little butterflies. This is the mini stamps. I love these. Got to be honest, I've got 2 of these because mine has had a habit of flying off before now. I don't know if it just goes to warmer climates when we have snow. I'm going to use my darker colour, the Twilight. And again, scrap of card. This is a great way of using your scraps of card. And we're just going to stamp a couple of those. And then we'll add some colour in a minute. What we are going to do, now you could leave this at this stage if you wanted, but I just want to add a little bit more depth here. I mean, if you look at the difference, and often if you're not sure, I would take a photograph at this stage and then take a photograph of the finished. Now it might be you want to do a couple of cards like this and a couple like this, but again, it's all about choices, and that's the fun of when we're creating, because we create what we want. Circle mask now. I'm just going to turn my design upside down. We're going to use this as a moon, but also as a focal point. So I'm going to start with some blue Atoll and always blend in the lid. And I'm just going to make this a real spotlight here, so it's the focal point. Dab on your mask first. If you've got a new ink pad and it's very juicy, which they are because they're full of pigment, full of colour, that's why we dab off in the lid. And I start at the bottom, look, and then some ink at the top. Now I don't want this to be too dark, so if I'm not sure, look, I can take it off. Oh, we just want a wee bit more. Technical term that, isn't it? Wee bit more. Right, happy with that. So I like that at the top. It's quite light, but I'm just going to now fill in the space. And that's why it was important to blot my stamping, because I don't want it to smudge. And I'm just going to add that light blue colour now, look, over the whole design. And it is very subtle. You probably won't pick it up. So next, I'm going to come in with some blue Lagoon. So we're almost going to deepen it. And we want it deeper at the base. So if I start at the base and then just bring that darker colour. And again, if it's a new ink pad, make sure you dab off in the lid. And when you're adding your darker colour, if you're one of our lovely new followers, hold your brush nice and loose, dab in the lid, start at the edge here, and then as you've got less ink, come further up into the design. And you see very subtly we're getting that build-up of colour. And then finally, I'm going to come in with some midnight blue. Now this is a dark colour, look. So I've gone for a smaller brush. And I'm just going to gingerly, very gently add a little bit at the base here. And a little bit up there. And just take your time. But again, with this colour, just make sure you go in that lid. You don't want to come on and spoil it when, you know, you get to this stage. Just a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it. I almost want to give that shadow, that depth. So can you see that? And how it's given that lovely design. So just going to give this a wipe where I've gone over onto my mat. Try and keep it as clean as possible. So I want to add a little bit of colour. So I'm going to come in with our blue Wink of Stella. Love these. And just going to lean. I don't want to put finger marks on my work. So for me, it's a good habit to get into, to actually lean on a piece of copy paper or kitchen roll. Now you can colour these individually, but I'm just going to go over the whole thing. If you want, you know, I often like to just sit and colour. And if you've got an afternoon where you've got nothing, or a morning, you know, you could stamp a few of these up ready, then make yourself a lovely brew, get yourself that cheeky biscuit and just sit and colour and really enjoy and lose yourself. It's amazing. It's so good for the soul, good for mind and body. Just sit and do some lovely colouring. Don't forget the back of the card, the envelope. See, you've got lots of stamping and colouring to do there. Now, while I've got my Wink of Stella, look, I'm going to colour my butterflies. Now, for this, I'm going to use my clear Wink of Stella as well. And I'll just colour one to show you. I'm going to add the darkest colour in the middle, look. And then I'm going to pick up, and this is a little tip, we do this with our Zig Clean Colour pens. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that blue on my clear, and then I can blend that out till it goes clear. If I want it a wee bit darker in the middle, look, I can just add a little bit of blue into those veins. If I'm worried about any blue on my clear brush, look, I can just wipe it a few times and it will go back to being clear. So I've got a couple of those I've already cut out. Now, last little thing on here, some white highlights, and I'm just going to use my white posca for this. Just, I don't want to overcook it, but a couple of white on that one, few on this one, maybe a couple here and there, this one just on this side, and then some good old posca splats, again using my large brush, turning it round. If you don't like the posca splats, leave this bit off. If you've got a blue posca and you want to add some blue posca splats, that would look lovely. Or maybe a contrast, maybe the yellow. Maybe make 3 designs. Use white on one, yellow and blue, and then tell me which one you like the best. And then the butterfly. So many of you will know I have a butterfly tin. So there's the ones I've cut out ready. And on my scraps of card, look, when I'm stamping my butterflies, so these, I'm going to colour the other one and pop them in my tin. Do you know what, when I'm demonstrating as well, some ladies cut these out for me. So little tip, get your friends to help you cut some out and have a tin of butterflies ready, because you never know when you're going to need them. Now let's have a look. Decide where we're going to put them. Might want one, might just mix this up a bit. Oh no, I like one actually on the design. Yes, I do like it there. Or shall I put it here? Oh, choices, choices. So I'm going to decide this one here. Black fine liner pen, just draw the antennae because I don't cut those out. Yes, I think we'll have this one over here. Right, I've drawn the antennae now, so I have to stick it there, don't I? Bippity boppity glue, fabulous, except I can't say it very well. Couple of dabs. These I'm putting quite flat because if this is going in the post, I don't want to pay extra postage if I'm decoupaging. If it's a card you're giving by hand, then maybe 3D the butterflies. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the white splatters over the butterflies, just to highlight. Yeah. And there we have it. Some gorgeous blue hues. Now, I think you could make this design in blue. There it is mounted, look. But there, for the challenge, and everything's on the website, pop along to our lovely Lavinia website. But then, maybe you could make some notelets for friends. And that way you're making gifts, but getting Mr. Mojo back. This would look beautiful in oranges. What about greens, purples, brown, totally vintage. So I'm going to leave that with you. You know I like to leave you homework. So you take care. Thanks as always for joining me. When you've created your designs, please pop them on Facebook, pop them on our Lavinia group and tag me in, because I love to see what you do and you'll inspire each other and help get Mr. Mojo back for everybody. This is going to be our big group challenge. We're going to get that Mr. Mojo back for all of us. So love and hugs from me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Sleep well. Bye for now.